Yo, what's up? What's up? Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Bag Talk 101 on the Hungry Millennial Network. This week, I wanted to bring to y'all, a very dear friend of mine, one of my, what I consider one of my OGs when I first joined the military. But he's out here spreading the word on finance. So, Brian, welcome to, everybody, welcome Brian Harris to the show.
Welcome, thank you so much. It's been good knowing you, especially where we came from and how we met. I still look at that picture sometimes. So,
bruh, we was out there looking dusty, wasn't we?
Yes, we came a long way. We came a long way since Virginia. So
you got into financial advising, and you currently, so you've been in the banking industry, in the finance industry for 6 years now?
Yeah, 6 years, six good years. Everything had its challenges, but it was 6 good educational years. Yes.
Okay. What was that transition like, leaving the military and then going into that? Because I feel like that's a lot, man.
It is. One is scary. I'm not gonna say I wasn't scared. To go from having so much structure and everything moves, no matter if you give the minimum effort, to go into everything is back on you. Bills, life. You have to turn off that automatic and start taking it over manually. So it was very scary. Passion drove me to be successful. Success drove me. Having a child drove me. So I had a lot of drivers that's like, look, you can't be average. So
okay, outstanding. And that's propelling you, having the kids and all that stuff. It's propelled you to be more financially prudent, right? You know what I'm saying? And you're currently pursuing your doctorate in business administration, working at Northwestern Mutual as a financial advisor.
Right.
So right now, you really out here repping, you know what I'm saying, for U.S. Army and for the culture. So I really appreciate you coming on the podcast.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. Like, I reached out, I've seen a couple. I'm like, man, he out here. I've been watching you for before you were just doing the videos to the podcast. I'm like, he out here getting it. He look, I seen him when we, like you said, back in Virginia, we wasn't nobodies, and now look at us. We giving back. We have some type of impact on people's lives.
It does. And we on Bag Talk, we like to talk about like things that people are reading and checking into as far as financially. So what financial book right now has your eyes?
The financial book that has my eyes, I would say one that I mentioned to everybody, and I think it's like a great foundation, is The Richest Man in Babylon.
Yes. Okay.
The Richest Man in Babylon. I know it's a very known book. I have it. I done read it 3 times.
Yes.
Each time I read it, I get a different look, different aspect. But that is a powerful book. And then another book, I would say, in the finance world. I want to say, I'm gonna take it back. It's not finance, it's philosophy.
Okay.
It's called Meditation.
Yes. Marcus Aurelius?
Yes.
Yeah. See,
yes.
You a man of my own heart, man.
Yeah, like that's, I feel philosophy and finance go hand in hand.
It does.
Because the way it moves, you don't know, and you always gotta check yourself. Like, you can't check somebody else if you haven't checked yourself. If it's another book other than that, I just read everything. It don't have to be but business. It can be something romantic, mystery. Majority of the time it's self-help.
Okay.
I read a book. It's a Buddhist. It's wrote by a Buddhist monk, I believe. But it's like some Peace with Every Step, I think it was called. Okay. It's just, I'm not a religious man, but that book really put things in play. Like, basically, don't let your anger drive you. Don't let the situation drive you, because you don't know the drivers behind the situation of who you're dealing with or yourself. It's, and it took me a while to understand that when I was a banker. Sometimes the customer might be cussing you out. They not cussing you out. They cussing out whatever got them mad before they came through the door.
That's deep.
So they mad. They just mad. They not mad at you, but if you allow it and you take it too personally, you will never fix the situation.
Exactly.
And it's a better
Exactly.
reward on the end of when you do fix it. So, I read everything.
Oh, that's outstanding. Because they always say that, what I'm saying, in order to help others, I must first help myself.
Exactly.
And when it comes down to the self-improvement, when it comes down to the self-help, I think that's key to any financial advisor. Anybody that's talking about dollars and money, we got that balance of being knowledgeable of how the money moves. It's always an evolving thing. So if you always read, what I'm saying, readers are leaders.
Yeah.
So you leading the way on both fronts. And so, wanted to get into it. So, when we was talking offline, we was talking about some of the biggest financial mistakes, that you see people making. And so what was your number one financial mistake that you see people make?
Number one, ego and pride.
Okay.
And the reason I say ego and pride is because I'm just gonna give you like a quick example, and people, this gonna hit home because everyone deals with it. If you get sick, right? If any person gets sick, the first thing we do is self-treat. We go get, if it's a headache, we go get medicine. We go take some NyQuil. We take the home remedies, and then we go to sleep to see how we feel. Sometimes we feel better, but if you don't feel better, what's your next step? You go see the doctor. That doctor then takes everything, where you hurt at, how you hurt, how I feel, things that we can't do ourselves and diagnose. We don't know. We're not doctors. Exactly. And that's the same thing that happens when it comes to people's finances. Everyone got to see the great stories out there, the millionaires off the Bitcoin, the millionaires off this stock. And it's like, that's cool. It can happen. We're not saying it can't happen. But when you get sick, you go see a specialist.
Yes.
If you need help with your finances, why not go see a specialist?
Exactly.
If they're, a financial advisor is a doctor in their field, you're not going to tell the doctor that he's wrong. You're not gonna go, hey, no, doctor, no, this ain't this no, this not cancer, this just a tummy ache. You're not gonna tell the doctor that, and the doctor like, ma'am, I got X-rays, blood types, the T levels, I got everything showing it is. Like,
yeah.
So as a financial advisor, that's our position. I'm like, look, you say you want to do this in life, you want this retirement. Looking at the symptoms, this is what we need to do to get there, and that's where that pride comes in, because some people we're taught to hold. Hey, I made this money, put it in a savings account. Okay, put it in a savings account. Tell me what you get in 5 years from a savings account. Not much.
It's depreciating. With that 6.8% inflation, 6.5% inflation. Like you just made less money by leaving a bank account.
Exactly.
By not talking to Brian about the finances.
Exactly.
And how you can create, that brokerage account that's actually going to grow your money and save your money at the same time.
Exactly. And then it's like, I tell people, my dissertation, which is going to be on my doctorate, is about that. It's about how in 2008 everything happened. People, we focus so much on why did it happen, other than putting transparency to the communities. Like, look, this happened, let's fix it, gain that trust back so our economy could do better. In tune of the economy doing better, guess what? Your accounts do better.
Yes.
You don't have to work at 60, 65, 70. You can enjoy your sweet life. So
that's if you don't have a plan, if you ain't got a plan and your ego and pride in the way, you're gonna end up having to work till you die. Like,
exactly.
That's I think, and that's that's one of the biggest things is when it comes to finances. I was shocked, Brian. Like, I was shocked how many people they weren't able to retire. They don't know anything about retirement. The only thing they know is Social Security. And the thing is people aren't having enough babies to even fund Social Security. And then the calculations that's coming out about Social Security later is like they're getting less than $1,000 a month, if that. Probably not even close.
And it's taxable.
Wait, hold on. Wait, what? So Social Security tax you after you done paid the tax?
You still gotta report it. Yes, you still have to report it,
bruh.
It's still considered income, so you have to report it.
What?
That's what people don't get.
Don't even send me no Social Security check.
Because my thing is matter of fact, let's put it this way: it's not even Social Security. Let me take that back. It's not. It's your 401k, the retirement things that you have.
Yeah. When it
comes out, taxed.
That's taxed.
When you go back and get it after you're done, you're taxed. And and I tell people, think about that. Like, you worked 20, 30, 40 years to create this savings of, let's put a nice number, $350,000. You thinking you're gonna get 350,000 when you get done, but after you start pulling that money out, you're not getting 350,000.
Exactly. And that's why you need an advisor like Brian, so that way he can tell you, hey, we need to Roth this out, or we need to figure out how this gonna go.
Bro, yeah,
Because
we
if
need
you
to
go
figure out
Roth, you take the taxes today. You don't know how the tax is gonna be later.
Exactly.
Like
They don't know.
That's exhausting. So your number two, what was your number two biggest mistake that people make?
My number two, what's that? Mindset was number three. Number two, doing it themselves. So over self-reliance. So many people is so big on this is just, and it's just anything you put in life. I did it. They want to know I did it.
Okay,
it's cool, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like someone told me, well, one of my senior advisors told me, name one thing that you have totally did by yourself. One thing that any human has totally did by themselves.
There's nothing.
It's not exact. There's nothing. So every success, no matter who it is, have came by the help of someone teaching you, showing you, learning from their mistakes, learning from what they did. You have learned it. You learn how to walk. You watch your mother, your father learn how to walk. You seen your cousins playing around and you can't get there. So he's like, let me hurry up and get. We learn everything from somebody.
Yes. And in the Army, that ties back to that tell, show, do.
Yeah. Yep. And it's like, if you don't, basic, back to the Army, basic. We just don't go to the unit. We go to basic. We get tore down. We get built right back up. We get how to shoot, how to carry, how to march. We learn
evaluations.
Exactly. AARs. We go through all this training in those 9 weeks from drill sergeants that have done it. And that's life, and that's your finances. So when we, like, one of the main questions we ask our clients is, tell me what you have learned about finances, even if it's from a book, your family, your culture, whatever. Tell me. And typically, sometimes it's, well, save more than you spend. Or they just said, do everything in cash. And it's like, it's so many of these other things, but it's rarely is the building of finances. It's just hold it and gather it. But if you're holding
it, it's just sitting there. It's not doing anything. It's not working for you.
And they're like, and then people want, I did this myself. I did this. And it's like, even me, not talking about nobody. Jeff Bezos didn't do it by himself.
Nah.
Bill Gates didn't do it by Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs didn't do it by himself. Now, a lot of people probably don't like their personalities, but they had people to help in some form of fashion. And that's what it comes with your finances. When you get a team that gets behind you and help you with you're going to succeed more. Now, you might win big, like doing a Bitcoin trade or something, or doing it by yourself. You can win big. But if you don't win big, you still have a plan in place that can make sure you reach those goals.
Exactly. Brian, it's one of those things, is winning big is not sustainable.
No.
It's just not. It's not sustainable. But if you have somebody to talk to run numbers by, to have conversations about where the dollars are going and what the future looks like, you can backwards plan.
Right.
That was one of the greatest things about being in the military, is they talk about backwards plans. You got the 30, you got the 60, you got the 90 days out. You got the 2, you got the 3 years out. You know what I'm saying? All of these things that are in place to make sure that the next person is set up for success. Or if something does happen, now you have a financial advisor that understands, I got a kid, I got a daughter, I got a car, I got all these things. While you stressed out going to work, they helping you walk through your finances. So you got a plan. So you less stressed when you go to work. You less stressed when you go on vacation. You less stressed when you go shopping.
Right.
So the third biggest mistake that you had was
the third biggest mistake, financial literacy. Now, this is, I feel, where a lot of people miss the boat. Even when they make a lot of money, they miss the boat. And you've been, you got, I see the Jordan and the Kobe on the background. 2 of the greatest players that ever played the game. 2 of the greatest businessmen that we will ever see play the game.
Which is crazy, right?
See, and that's and it's crazy because I tell people a lot of time, illiteracy is something that you have to willingly accept. And it goes back to the second one. That self-reliance. I remember, God bless his soul. After Kobe died, they was asking Michael Jordan a question, and they said, "What did you love about Kobe so much?" He said he would call me and say, "Hey, Jordan, I'm trying to do this, and that, and the other. I was trying to do this move. Tell me, hey." And that one move turns into a 3-hour conversation of Kobe asking questions, not Jordan explaining it. Kobe asking one move, a 3-hour conversation about that one move.
Exactly.
That's how you should be with your finances. It should be a question. All right, I see this. Hey, you said we got this plan. Hey, what if this happened? What if I got kid? What if I got okay? We got that. Don't worry about it. I already knew you was coming with that question. This is why we did this. This is why we did that. That's why we moved. And a lot of people only see it as direct paths to their goal. So, like I tell some of my clients, if you got kids, let's say, what's your goal for your children? And they're like, well, I want them to go to college. Okay. What if you don't come home tomorrow? That right there stops a lot, because that's never a thought, because we're so trained of going, I'm going to survive. I'm the strongest man in the world. But what happens if you don't come home tomorrow?
Because real life does happen.
Exactly. And it's like, people like, well, do the plans change? Yeah, the plans change. Why do the plans change? My job is to make sure your plans don't change. My job as a financial advisor is to make sure we put something built. And that's where that financial literacy becomes, because as I'm teaching you how to build and put things into plan, you're starting to learn.
Exactly.
Your guy is like, okay, I got this. I might not. Okay, I see why he did this. I see why we did that. And then as you grow in that aspect of your finances, like you mentioned, that stress disappears. That stress, that daily life stress, is start to fade a little bit. Stress, life's gonna be there, but it starts to fade because of that teaching you're getting from your financial advisor.
Exactly.
Like we got counselors for our mental, and we go see them. But you have a financial advisor as your financial counselor, and that's why. Hey, this is what we're doing. Oh, all right, cool. All right, we got that. We got that in play. We got okay, cool. Is your daughter okay? We got that. Okay, are you planning on? And we go through this whole process. It is a process to help the clients get that point of illiteracy, because it's difficult. And I think a mindset that goes with that is it's a story, and it's I think it goes a little something. I might mess it up, but it says God gave 3 men something, and I think he gave him the first guy 5 seeds. He gave the what is like gold or something. Oh, it was gold. He gave the first guy 5 pieces of gold. He gave the second guy 3 pieces of gold, and he gave the last guy 1 piece of gold. And he said, "I'll be back in a year, and I want you to give this. I'll be back in a year to come get this gold from you." A year go by, God come back. He's the guy with the 5 pieces of gold said, "God, I did this and that and the other. I lost all of it, but I was able to give it back, and I made it right back. Here go the 5 pieces of gold." God said, "Thank you. Here go your 5 pieces of gold." Told the dude to keep it. The second guy was like, "God, you gave me 3 pieces. I went out, got involved in this, got involved in that, and I turned these 3 pieces of gold after learning and losing it all, learning it back. Boom, boom, boom. I turned these 3 pieces of gold to 10 pieces of gold." God said, "That's great." So he gets to the guy with the 1 piece of gold, and he said, "Oh, what you have?" He's like, "God, I got you your 1 piece of gold." He said, "What happened?" He said, "Oh, when you gave it to me, I wanted it to be safe, so I buried it. So I wanted to make sure that you got it." God took his piece of gold and gave it to the first guy. And people like, and when I heard the analogy of this, I'm like, God, why would God do that? And it's like, the moral of the story is, I gave you a gift and you squandered it. You didn't try to move it. You didn't try to do anything with it. You didn't try to grow it. You didn't even give it a chance to lose it. So why would I continue giving you a gift if you're not going to use it?
Because you're in the same state as if, you know what I'm saying, you didn't receive it in the first place.
Exactly. And that mindset with your finances of saving money and just grabbing and holding is what kills so many of the generations after, because everyone just holds on to it. Don't no one do nothing. They're just, what you do? Shoebox. Mattress. Like, okay, what you do with it? Oh, nothing. So what are you giving to your next generation? They're gonna do the same thing you did.
Yeah. Facts.
So,
And if you look at the cost of living in college and how it's gone up, like you used to be able to get a whole, I was looking at the numbers, and people were able to get whole college degrees for $1,000. And
exactly.
then
I
they
think
push their next generation of kids to go to college to get a degree.
yeah, I
And now
think
they
President Bush went to Harvard or Yale for like 900. And I'm like, whoa, $900. Like, whoa. But it's like that mindset. That, you know what I'm saying? He's like, look, I did my military time. Let me go get what but that mindset was there. They're like, you know what? Let's throw it over. Let's continue. And I think that financial literacy is something that needs to be built. And if you, like I said, the book I mentioned, The Richest Man in Babylon, teach you that teaches you so much. Like, you have to be disciplined. You have to show discipline. So
and the one of my favorite books is The Millionaire Next Door. And in The Millionaire Next Door, they talk about how the fact that you don't want to become your own plumber.
Yep.
You don't want to become your own mechanic, because that's taking away from what you want to do with your life, your job, your career. Like a lot of people, I'm not a financial advisor. We just talk about money and how to move it, and we speculate on what the market's doing, and we love that, right? That's what my podcast Bag Talk is about. And we learning and growing, and how we're gonna grow our dollars, and we creating a conglomerate, a network of people. But at the same time, I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I really want to be, right? That's why I got, what I'm saying, people like you on the podcast, Young Investor on the podcast. So I'm like, I got a person for that. This is what I believe it was Henry Ford. He said they like, it was a long time ago, and they were like trying to sue him.
Yeah.
And they tried to sue him because it was like they thought he was illiterate. And so he was like, when he was standing in front of the court, they was like, he was like, on my desk, I have a plethora of buttons that I can push, and I can ask any question of any person that of credentials in the world. And I push this button and I can talk to them. Like, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? And that's when I hit up people like Brian. Hey, I heard you over there moving money, like just last night. So Young Investor, he trying to put some weight on. He trying to get, muscular. But I'm not a personal trainer. I'm just passionate about fitness, and we talk about fitness on the podcast. And so I got people, my co-hosts, I sent them over there, and I'm like, hey, they know how to gain weight. They struggle with this. I got an Army veteran, always been a skinny guy, but he keep himself ripped and buff. He do his thing. I'm like, go holler at him. And then I inbox him. I'm like, hey, I'm sending somebody your way. And your network is your net worth. And, just a caveat as we wrap up here, what I'm saying, what are you going to be able to do for, the clients that decide to go with Brian Harris?
I would say this. That was a good question. And I was like, man, how do I answer this? If just kind of like Henry Ford, if I don't know the answer, I'm going to make sure you get the answer, and it's going to be the correct answer. And I don't care if I have to ask 10,000 people, and I'm going to tell you what them 10,000 people, and then I'm going to give you the 10,000 people numbers, emails, so you can speak to them. Like I had an instance with a client. I couldn't help him. And I said, you know what, since I can't help you, I know someone that can. And I got to put him in touch with that guy. That's his client. And I said, and he's like, bro, you didn't have to. Yes, I did, because it's not about what I receive. It's about I'm doing my due diligence to make sure my client gets the best help he needs.
Yes.
For him. And that's what I bring. And like you mentioned, I've been all around the world. I'm trying everything. I ain't scared to lose. From, like I tell people, from growing up in Detroit, military.
What up, though?
Working up, what up, though? And getting my doctorate. I realized in all those three situations, I didn't have all the answers. And I still to this day, I reach out to people. Hey, what you think about this? Hey, what do I do? So I'm going to find an answer for my clients every time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, you one of my favorite type of one of my favorite types of NCOs. Because as a commander, as an officer, I'm like, I ain't trying to hear some fluff. Because if I find out it is wrong, now we got a different conversation we have. I want to talk to the person that's going to tell me I don't know. But I'm going to find out.
Exactly.
Let me get back to you on that. The person with the notebook. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the things when I was, in Kuwait as a platoon leader. I'm like, where y'all notebooks at? I don't care if it looks like a phone. I don't care if it looks like, a tablet or whatever it is. But I need you taking notes. Because at any moment in time, everything could go awry. At the same time, you need people that are going to be saying, I don't know, give you the honest truth. So that way you can find, you know what I'm saying, the quickest point between two lines. You know what I'm saying? And so
And
that's
that
really outstanding.
note taking, I take a lot of notes. And I never, we do a lot of meetings and a lot of senior advisors and one senior advisor, since I've been with this company, I've been watching. Like I stay, like whenever he do anything, the way he dressed, when I tell you, I'm looking this man up and down. Like I'm like, okay, how he do this? And I was taking notes. And I'm taking notes, doing my thing. And I leave and I go to my desk and I'm doing my thing, getting this stuff together, boom, boom, boom. And he stops by my desk. And in my head, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go approach him and see if he can mentor me in this career that he has mastered for 30 years. So I'm sitting there and taking notes, finishing my notes, putting the date on it. He said, Brian, I'm shocked. You know my name. One, that shocked me. Like, you know who I am. Like, I just got here. How do you know me? He said, I see you taking notes, detailed notes. And I didn't see nobody else in the room doing that. Do you want to go to lunch? And in my head, I'm like, wow. I wasn't taking notes to get noticed. I was taking notes like, look, whatever he got to say, I'm going to take it down. I'm going to use it, flip it and reverse it in the way I can. And taking notes is so powerful because it means so much to the person that's giving the knowledge. Because it's like, I have someone listening. So let me do better. And it's just like, when you mentioned that, I was like, wow. Because I was like, man, that's the notes is powerful because, like I said, the person that's speaking, it lets them know, let me do better. Someone's watching me. Someone's listening.
That's awesome to have that effect on your mentors as well, Brian, because the saying goes is a rising tide raises all boats. And it's one of those things where they threw a wave at you, you threw it back. Now everybody gets a chance to level up. And that's fantastic. So even pushing your senior advisors, so if y'all have any questions, about, finance or anything, y'all looking for a financial advisor, you have Brian's information, Mr. Brian Harris's information, scrolling across the screen. That's going to also be in the description underneath this video on my YouTube channel, the Hungry Millennial Network. So feel free, man, hit him up. You know what I'm saying? He's an outstanding person. I've known him for almost over 10 years, right?
It's been over 10 years. Was that 09?
Yeah, that was 09. Yeah. Yeah,
09,
it was
10,
about,
yeah. Oh
about
man,
10.
we old.
Yeah, it's weird. It's catching up to me. Hey, stop dating us. You old, fam. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Bag Talk 101. We appreciate y'all tapping in. Brian, we appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on.
No problem.